Welcome back. Continuing to help us get our life plan in order is David L. Carrier. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Leanne. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. It's every bit of Monday, though. But you're here.
So it is.
You're here to enlighten us in some wonderful, helpful life planning.
I try. God knows I try.
Yeah.
But you know what? I got a email today. I got two. I got a voicemail. I got an email. I got one email. Actually, it was a posting on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, it's on there.
Yeah.
And the guy counted 20 times. I said, you know, and then he gave up. You know.
From watching the show?
No, yeah, well, from my radio show. You know. Yeah, I just said it again.
You just said it again. We should make you put $1 in the jar that we're donating at the end of the year to charity.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do that.
We should do that every time.
I'm going to do it. $5 to Meals on Wheels and Alzheimer's. Those
every
are
time.
Our two.
All right, you guys keep
those
counting.
are our two major things.
All right.
But then I got another one. I got the voicemail from a longtime client, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm so glad you said all those things because that's just what I'm thinking." And I'm like, "Oh."
Good.
He didn't worry about the you-knows.
Yeah, well, you get all kinds of feedback, and of course, it's because people are willing to hand over questions like this that we're going to talk about today. The first one we're going to kind of address, it says that my mom passed away without a will. Do me and my brother get the property so it's fully paid off and owned by my mother?
Well, the answer is yes, but hello to probate court, right? And there's a lot of facts we don't know there. Was mom in a nursing home? Did she receive at-home care, maybe assisted living? Was she on the Medicaid? Now, most folks, right, who need institutional care do wind up on the Medicaid, so we don't really know. And because when mom passed, and there's nothing here about having a trust or anything like that, we don't know whether that was done, so we assume that it wasn't, which means it's going to probate, which means now the state's coming after the house. So do you and your brother get the house? Well, possibly, but it's also possible that the state's going to scoop in there and there won't be anything. One of the things that we do frequently whenever we're evaluating any probate case that comes in the office, one of the first things we do is figure out, will there be anything for the heirs anyway? Because there's no sense you paying us to probate an estate where the state of Michigan's going to get everything anyway. Yeah. Now, usually there are some family allowances and stuff that we can get for the family, right? So that's kind of useful. Plus, you know, it usually does make sense. But it's one of those things you really have to look at first. Whenever you're doing a probate case, you know, what's the state going to get? And that's a new thing. You know, it's only since 2011 that they started glomming onto that.
Okay.
But,
all right. The second one is a ladybird deed and enhanced life estate, the same thing. It sounds like I'm a caregiver, live with my stepdad. He originally made will 50-50 with me and my sister, but now he wants to change it to just me and wants me to have everything. Yeah,
this is what we call a quicksand question, right? Yeah. This is total quicksand because, you know, if you answer it just technically, could you do a ladybird deed or enhanced life estate, which are basically the same thing? Okay, just two different words for the same thing. Could you do it? Yes, you could. Will brother get the house now? Well, that's where it gets iffy because there's this thing called undue influence. Undue influence. Did you twist dad's arm or what have you? Well, it's pretty tough to show that because dad could have done this intentionally. He could have done it on purpose. And so if sister's going to challenge later on, if sister has to prove that you twisted dad's arm, well, where's the evidence of that? Who knows? But here's the deal. Here's the tricky twist to this, okay? If you're what they call fiduciary, if you're the person who's trustee or attorney in fact, meaning you have a power of attorney, or in this case, live-in caregiver, for crying out loud, now you're a fiduciary, now you have to prove that there was no undue influence. Well, good luck for that. I mean, how are you going to prove that you never twisted dad's arm? You see? So it goes from sister proving that you did to you proving that you didn't. Basically, with these cases, whoever has the burden of proof loses, okay? So for you just to do a quickie ladybird deed, legally, technically, yeah, it works. But if sister cuts rough, if sister says, hey, I got this inherited, which she's going to do, come on, right? You can see that one coming. So then what do we do? Well, this is where it's extremely important not to do it yourself, especially important not to do it yourself. When we get cases like this, we'll call everybody in, you know, and have 6 witnesses on the dang thing, you know. Yeah. Well, you don't need them, but we do it anyway so that whoever's looking at that knows, well, okay, I've got 6 people who are going to say that this was really dad's intent. And now you can prove no one do it. But it's one of those tricky things. Yeah. You know, you wind up in you can so quickly wind up in the quicksand if you just, well, these things work, Uncle Charlie did it. My friend at work did it.
Right.
So therefore, it must work.
Right.
Well, you don't know the backstory.
It's
You got to be very
circumstances,
careful.
yeah.
Right.
All right. All right. Well, you have life plan workshops that you do all the time.
We do the life plan. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You know, we just started. We just started in at our new offices in Muskegon, and screwed it up. Well, we had about 7 extra folks showed up.
Okay.
You know, it's our shakedown cruise in Muskegon. Okay.
Yeah.
Real nice venue. You know, it's in the building in our new offices over there on South Seaway, not West Seaway.
South Seaway.
South Seaway.
Keep that in mind.
And you know, just a really good crowd. Really, but. We were scrambling around, getting chairs in at the last minute, ran out of legal pads, someone had to go over to Office Max and, you know, all that kind of thing. But just a really strong workshop. We're doing them every other week in Muskegon, every other week in Holland, and then every single week in Grand Rapids. So when you get the diagnosis, when you get the feeling that, hey, maybe we should do something about this stuff, you know, you don't have to wait till the circus comes to town. You know, if it's Muskegon or Holland, it's a week from now. If it's Grand Rapids, it's right now.
Perfect.
But the next few, I got to tell you, the next few Muskegon workshops are already. I don't think we have any capacity. This one was overflow, but I don't think we have any capacity at those. But, you know, get your name on the list, and love to see you there.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, reach out to them. David L. Carrier can be reached by calling locally 616-361-8400, toll-free 888-463-2843. Grand Rapids office is 4965 East Beltline Northeast. Check them out online, davidcarrierlaw.com. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Leanne.
Absolutely.
Thanks.